Awesome.
Feels like it's been a while since we've sat in these chairs, Captain.
It has. It's the type of news. We apologize for brief disappearance, but we are back. And despite all of the tomfoolery that is happening in politics, we want to focus on a more pressing issue, an issue that is, frankly, killing Bermudians by like the dozens every year.
Because we had a whole nother episode done up, but we said, you know what, let's do this because this is important. Now, we've had the Road Safety Commission?
Road Safety Council.
The Road Safety Council.
And the director of Piece of the Rock. And co-owner of Bmoto. Gotta know all of them. They're all important.
Okay. Clearly his memory is better than mine. But we had them on the show and they spoke to us about road safety. But how many people died this weekend? Not including the young man from the States?
I believe it was 8 people.
Wait, 8? I thought it was like 3.
No, I mean, I think it was a double fatality.
Yeah.
One of them was an infant, but that wasn't a road safety one. You said died.
Okay, I'm sorry. Road fatalities. How many road fatalities?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, 3. It was 3 or 4?
Well,
3. 3. Yes, because there was 3 road fatalities and then 2 people died from other reasons this weekend, which we will not get into. But that's 3 men dead in one weekend. That's 3 men dead in less of a period than 3 days.
Well, it's because the Road Safety Council, in all their efforts, they are fighting a beast that is culturally entrenched. And I feel like this is something that we touched on when we had them on the show, but we didn't quite get into. And it is the fact that Bermuda's cultural, like, I want to say cultural habits, reinforce poor road safety.
Yeah, because I ride slowly. And if I've got one of my friends on the back of my bike, they'll be like, Trey, you can't ride. I'm like, did you get there in one piece? Because you can catch the bus.
But it comes down to, and it is a cultural thing that is definitely more prominently passed on from male to male. Mm-hmm. And if you really look at it, there's a lot of people in Bermuda right now.
No, there's some crazy female drivers, but let's be real. When have we ever had a female road fatality? I mean, there was one a couple years ago, but she was a passenger.
No. It was one way. It was a young model girl.
Yes, it counts as road fatality. Yes. So, but it wasn't her fault.
It's not about whose fault it is.
True.
It's that is a road fatality, and this is what we're focusing on here. Is that if you look at it, you have young men. Some of them have been on the back of a bike or been on a bike riding a bike since they were 12, and it's a lot of people who grow up learning how to ride bikes in the neighborhood, on fields.
I don't like riding.
From the neighbor, from the cousin, from the dad, from the big brother, and they're not necessarily learning the globally trusted method of driving or riding that keeps you safe.
And I hear from some people, that's what the written test is for. Do you remember anything that's on the written test? I don't.
I haven't even taken it yet.
I passed. I didn't even study for it. I passed. But I don't remember anything from it. I don't know. I don't have the rules of the road memorized other than red means stop, green means go, don't go too fast.
Yeah. And when you look at the culture,
okay, that makes it sound kind of dumb.
The cultural thing is that once you turn 16 in Bermuda, it is your rite of passage as a 16-year-old to get a bike, and even then, if you necessarily aren't prepared to ride one. And on top of that, it's a lot of things that go into that mentally and physiologically. Because if you look at it, a lot of people who do not get bikes, such as myself, I didn't like bikes. I spent the entire high school being talked on to about, how could you not get a bike at 16 and da. Oh, you haven't got your Bermuda tattoo, which is,
a muffler burn?
There you go.
I still ain't got a muffler burn. Why? Because I'm careful.
No, but that's the thing. It's glamorized, though. And
being a dumbass is glamorized?
But it's the little things. It's the little things that have been entrenched in us that, it makes us have this dirt album mentality. And I feel like the reason why the Road Safety Council and Bmoto and a Piece of the Rock are not really getting the desired effect that they are working so hard for is because of the fact that we as a community have to accept these cultural things and try to do our best to combat them. Because every time you look at somebody coming home from a club, and I'm not saying every road fatality is alcohol related, But
most of them aren't, actually.
you can say that we have a cultural acceptance
Maybe
of
not most.
drunk driving. We have a cultural acceptance of allowing our friends, our colleagues, our family to leave clubs drunk and make their way home. And sometimes they ride in groups and drop each other off. I have met some responsible people like that who ride together, drop one another off. And then there are some that just disperse at the end of the night. Some get in taxis and some ride home drunk.
But a lot of people don't get in taxis because getting a taxi at 3 o'clock in the morning is like almost double the price. So that's not helping. I mean, I know that CARTA has a form of setup to get people home safely, but that's not implemented as well as I would like it to be. And we don't have Uber or Lyft or anything that these other countries have to get people home safely. And most people are like, I'm not leaving my bike in town. Someone might steal it. Mm-hmm. So I'll risk driving home drunk and then the next morning.
But we have to step up and assist the Road Safety Council by shirking this ideal.
Yeah, because we talk about it, but we never actually, it's so bad that these people die, we need to do something about it. Okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Rather than waiting for everybody else to come up with solutions, why can't we come up with our own plans that can be implemented by the government? I mean, I know
you don't even need
Dennis Lister, the son, is very active in driving safely. So, kudos to you for that. Please keep up the good work, because,
But you don't even need a plan so much as you just need to do little things. And I'm always harping on these little things that can make big changes.
Little things can make big changes.
Little things like, if you do, and a lot of people do know the bikes that are zipping around here, right? But most people just kind of look the other way. It's like if you know a person and you say, hey, you risk your life. You know what I mean? And it comes down to if you know that this person is riding like that, you can make rules for your daughter. You can't get on the back of that bike until he learns to ride safely. Yeah. Or, you can't be taking my daughter anywhere until you know how to ride safely. And it's like, yes, it sounds real archaic and real strict, but I feel like we need to get strict because we've given a lot of leeway on these roads. We don't check sobriety. We don't do random pullovers like that as much as we should for the problem that we have. And there's a lot of times people ride home really drunk and people are taking pictures and putting out videos of somebody swerving left, right, and it's like, we're the police, but it's because they've not got that mandate as of yet to really crack down on drunk driving.
A lot of, not just drunk driving, crazy driving, because I would just be sitting off one day, I would be riding and two guys would just fly past me and one of them would be doing a wheelie going down a hill and then turning left. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Who are you showing off for? I don't care. I'll be more impressed if you take your time and get home safely. See, I don't care when my friends, because when I first started riding, my sister's friends, my friends, they were all, Trey can't ride. Trey doesn't know how to do it. He takes too long. He goes around corners too slowly. I'm like, yeah, I ride like an old man, so I get to be one day. There's a reason for that.
And no one's saying that driving slowly means that you're driving safe.
No.
But what we are saying is that we have to combat this starting from the grassroots level up and start telling our children, how about we take it slow? It's all fine and dandy to teach a child how to ride and drive, before they're at the age. I mean, I personally think that's better because you get a feel of, what you're supposed to be doing.
They're more confident when it comes to that time.
But I do think that certain parts of the culture can be left out, such as, teaching them how to pop the bike or telling them that, you don't want to ride like a little granny or how you going to get girls if you can't do this, you can't do that. And it really comes down to who they look up to and what is passed on in our community.
Also, I don't know if this is already illegal. I mean, honestly, I don't know much about bikes mechanically, but parts that make bikes faster or more powerful should not be legal, because once again I was riding down the road and I don't know how to put this nicely, two larger gentlemen were on this bike and they were flying, and I'm like, there is no way that bike can go that fast carrying people of that size that quickly. No way. Because you weigh like 2 pounds. I mean, I'm a little heavy, But when we're on my bike, that thing don't go that fast. Like these like, and I'm just sitting there saying, what in the name of Hermes? You know, gotta speed, get it? Is on that bike. But I hear from so many people, oh, we need more police presence, we need a bigger police presence. What is that gonna do? What are the police going to do other than give tickets and suspend the occasional license and then have people ride anyway? Because the thing is, when you get a court case, you get at least a good month to 2 months to prepare for it. Now, the average cost for a speeding ticket, I don't know, I haven't gotten a speeding ticket in so long, but it's like $300-400? Yeah, 2 months of it. $300-400 is nothing in Bermuda. That is nothing. We could crap. Man, no, we're not worried about getting the speeding ticket. We're worried about the fact that we have to pay money. Man, no, I'm gonna pay $300. Whatever. I can get that in a couple of days. You know what? I'm not okay with that. I don't think that's smart. I think rather than making people pay, because clearly money does not working. It's not working.
It's just not enough money.
No, I don't even think any money should be taken. Okay, no. Well, you know, they have to make money. So let's say on top of having to pay a fine, something humiliating has to get done. Like Johnny Bond's position. Have someone that gets a speeding ticket there with a sign that says, I refuse to take my time with the police and making me do this. Because, you know, everybody past is going to be like, look at him, you're stupid. I'm not saying that teasing is okay, but I'm saying if you're an idiot,
What I'm going to say is that he got caught. Like
he got caught.
I feel like it should be more based on the
community
grassroots
service
level, where you, as a country, we make it a bit stricter of a test, a bit stricter of a trial period to get your license. And I feel like that you should do more than Project Ride.
I think car licenses should be increased to 21.
Yeah, I don't think. Because I don't think it's the age limit. Because in America, it's like, yes, they drive younger, but in their culture, it's enshrined. It's ingrained that drunk driving is bad. You know what I mean? And they get hefty.
People are confident about drunk driving down here, though. I had this lady talking to me the other day. He asked me about air in the test. She said, "Oh, I got home drunk last night." I'm like, "You were riding drunk? Like, what is wrong with you? You have children."
Do you know what a DUI does to you in America? Like, do you know?
Not the same thing it does down here?
No, a DUI can prevent you from getting hired. It can prevent you from certain opportunities.
And I think the same thing should happen down here. I think if you get a DUI, I think first of all, the lightest punishment should be your license is to be taken for 5 years. And everybody's you don't think that's too long? Because the thing is, when you get a DUI, you are putting yourself and other people's lives in danger. There was a car accident in the States where a drunk driver hit a car full of people and killed a 3-month-old baby. Now, a friend of mine was hit by a drunk driver. She only got a year in prison. But he will never play football again. He's 23 walking with a cane because she mangled him. Like, I'm sorry, but that is unacceptable. And if you're going to do something, then you need to pay the price for it. Because we have a very bad habit of forgiving road things. Remember when I don't want to bring this up, but remember when that young man fell asleep at the wheel?
Yeah.
Everybody said, oh, he made a mistake. He shouldn't have to serve jail time or serve any punishment. He made a simple mistake. Anybody could do it. Yes, but your mistake took a father away from his children.
You should not be on the road.
The same accident that happened, your mistake or your carelessness led to people dying. And the thing is, you can't take that back. There is no take-backs. If you injure somebody, we'll heal. But when you kill someone, I mean, the same thing with that young lady that passed on election day last year. Yeah. That truck, did he fall asleep or was he drunk? I can't remember.
No, I heard a lot of things.
Regardless, his carelessness took a child away from their parents.
And I do agree that if you do injure, maim, or kill somebody,
Take your license.
I think 5 years is reasonable.
I want 10, but I know everybody will be crying.
5 years is reasonable.
5 years,
You reflect
gone.
on yourself.
And if you get caught in that 5 years, your license is suspended for the rest of your life.
And in order to get it back, I think you should do sobriety tests, and I think you should have sobriety check-ins. You know what I mean? Like, you should probably have to come in and just check in and say you've been sober for this, you've been sober for that.
No,
or if you fell asleep, I feel like you should, have a test before you get your license back after the 5-year period.
Or you should have a curfew after you get your license. Like, you are not allowed to drive after this time.
And then after that, even then, a trial run of about a year before it's solidly back. Because I feel like they said her in the panel when we had them heard, the Road Safety Council.
We would love to get Carter on here. If anybody from Carter wants to speak to us, please give us a call because we would love to get you guys on here.
The Road Safety Council believes that, it's because the punishments are a bit slack.
The punishment is very slack.
And I think that it needs to be a cultural shift to more acceptance towards these harsh punishments and more responsibility put on yourself on the road, because a lot of times we're caught up in that dirt apple culture and we're gassed up by our friends. You're racing on the road, you're shooting around, you're trying to make it to this place quick, and you don't have any fear of repercussions because some of you pull chase from the police, some of you have gotten tickets, you just pay them off and you're back on the road, and it's like it's never really something unless you do something really, really, really drastic. And like you said, by then it's too late. By then the person is either dead or maimed.
Yeah, because speaking of making people pay more money and systems not working, a few years ago, the fine for not having your bike license and insured was nothing. It was like less than a couple $100. Now, the fine is $1,500 for not having your bike license and insured. However, is that stopping people? I don't think so. I'm seeing a great many bikes parked that say, May 2017, and I'm like, Reggie, it's supposed to be May 2018. Why your bike ain't licensed? But we give too much slack when it comes to our motorists, and the police are just content to just sit there every once in a while. Okay. He's only going 60. We'll let him pass. He's going too fast. I'm not even going to bother. Okay. Oh, let's pull this one over just to make our daily quota. No.
I think it has to be, like I said, and I will keep saying, it has to be a culture shift from women who glorify this sort of thing in the man. That needs to stop. And mothers, aunties, older women who look the other way when the son comes zooming up the driveway, or hearing stories, because I know it gets back to this Bermuda. I saw your son flying up the road. He's crazy.
Oh, that's just my boy. It's fine. No, beat his ass.
But you have to beat him? No. I want you to take his keys. It has to be enforced from the home level that this is not acceptable. Because at the end of the day, there have been a lot of issues and a lot of incidents where a person was driving crazy, they get into an accident with a passenger, the passenger dies, and the person survives. And that is just, how do you as a parent who have excused that behavior have allowed your child to get on the road and do those things, now have to live with the fact that your child is directly responsible due to their negligence for another person not being able to kiss and hug their child? How can you allow your child to continue riding a bike knowing that because of him, another person is not around just because he wanted to get to a 21 square mile island faster than he could have?
I mean, really, the island's 21 miles. Now, I understand that if you add it all together, we have roughly 100 miles of road. But the maximum time it's going to take to get somewhere, unless you're going from Dockyard to St. George's, is 20 to 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's it. Is the rest of your life worth 20 to 30 minutes?
And I think we need to also not just be strict on the rider, but if a rider is 16 years old and they get into an accident and they are underage, I think you should maybe push for the parents to be brought before for negligence as well. Because I do believe that has to have been accepted. A parent, is no way that you can't know that your child is zooming and doing that crazy. And I feel like the strictness should reflect on the parents as well. Because if a 16-year-old or whatnot is out here zooming about and you pull them over for a ticket, I think you should bill the parents too.
And I think the parents should be billed all together.
I feel like this is what we're lacking here, accountability. The accountability always falls on the person that gets into the accident. You know, he's a non-rider. He is slow. He is always goofy. He is always taking risks. But at the same time, all of you knew that, and what did you do? So as a community, all these lives that are lost are laid at our feet. And we, as a community, need to come together and start shifting that. We need to shift the outlook. It isn't about a person being a non-rider and that's why they got hit. They got hit because they were the unlucky one that day. You all are non-riders. And that is a fact.
Please don't misunderstand our callousness, not callousness, but our sternness towards the subject as not sympathy. Because every time there's a road fatality, it's horrifying. Because this is Bermuda. Everybody knows each other. Everybody that has died, if you don't know them, someone you know does. Which is why every time someone passes, all you see on Facebook is rest in peace, so-and-so, sleep in peace, etc., etc., etc. And it's like, honestly, to this point, it's just like, oh, I really feel like, I'm going to say that this is going to sound a little bad, but I really feel like death's like DJ Khaled right now with road fatalities. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And it's like, what more do you need? People are dying. Our young men are dying.
And that Superman complex is
not even just that, because that Jeep that flipped over with all those people in it, that little girl lost her arm.
That's right.
Because the driver, not her, not the other passengers, not the other 4 people in the car, the driver was careless.
And it's too much focus on bikes and not.
Oh, no.
Focus on cars.
Everything that has an engine needs to be regulated, because I'm sorry, these taxi drivers, I think if people, all taxi drivers should have a how's my driving number on the back of it. Because if something happens, people should be able to call that number and say, taxi T1875 or whatever overtook me and sped around the corner very dangerously, and his taxi license should either be suspended or sanctions should be put on him, because road safety is not just bikes. As we saw last year, that young girl was on a bike and she was taking her time, and now she's dead because somebody else in a truck wasn't.
So it's time for us to start regulating and slapping huge fines. If you see a Butterfield and Vallis truck or anything like that driving crazy, Butterfield and Vallis should be fined. And I'm pretty certain that they will respond in turn with stricter rules on how you drive those trucks. And I feel like they probably do within. I don't work at those companies, but what I am saying is this is my example of how we hold accountability for these road safety accidents. They can't just be on the person, because the person that does get into an accident, most likely there are factors that led there that could have been avoided.
See, one thing, when I was working at Cablevision had a very good system of making sure that their drivers did what they were supposed to do. If one of the drivers was speeding, immediately they knew the next day. If like it got so okay, not bad, but they were so on top of the drivers that if someone was in their truck that was not a Cablevision employee, they were like, all right, you know you're not supposed to do that. What's going on? And it worked. For the most part, Cablevision drivers, well, One Communication drivers, they all drive very responsibly. And I don't see them zipping around corners and doing that. Maybe they do. I don't see it. But when I was there, we didn't. But it's taxi drivers. It's like all taxis need that number on the back. Because we need this to be regular. And you know what? That could be another job for somebody. There you go. We just created the job.
Boom.
Boom.
So.
One done. Wayne Kane says 99 more to go.
Just to wrap up, we need to drive this home. Do not glamorize risking your life. Do not glamorize your riding skills over someone else, because necessarily, just because it wasn't you doesn't mean that person is less of a rider than you.
But you know what makes me angry? You know what makes me angry? The same people that are like, oh, here's a rider, are the same people bawling their eyes out when they die. The same people that are like, oh, you gotta go faster, man, go faster, whatever, that are glorifying this speed demon lifestyle are the same ones that are the first to post, oh, my boy died, this is terrible, how could this have happened? Because y'all empowered him to do the things that he did. Because we don't do, these guys popping wheelies down the road, they don't do it for themselves. They do it to show off for everybody else. And if they didn't get a reaction from people, they wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This has been That Type of News. I'm Dodge Pyramid.
Please be safe out there.
He's Bruce Robinson.